on to you? Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gents. Today's video, as you can tell by the title, we'll be going over this here Dodge Charger Daytona and all of its variants and everything like that. I wanted to take my time to make sure I had all the information, make sure I digested it, make sure my thoughts were actually what my thoughts were and not influenced by anything anyone else has been saying out there. So I wanted to take some time to make sure I felt how I actually feel about these cars. So let's get into the specs a little bit, right? So for the EV versions, we all know there's two versions, RT and the Scat Pack, and obviously the Banshee is going to be coming down the road. But for right now, we have the RT and the Scat Pack. RT boasting a whopping 496 horsepower, already well above the outgoing RT and more than the outgoing 6.4 liter Scat Pack. The Scat Pack EV comes in at 670 horsepower, so not quite Hellcat level, but far surpassing that of the outgoing Scat Pack. Now with the 6-cylinder, the 6-pack, we have two versions as well, 420 horsepower, 3-liter Hurricane inline 6, and a 550 horsepower high output, 3-liter Hurricane 6. Now back to the EVs real quick. Let's talk about some range, man. So I'm a little disappointed in the range, I'm not gonna lie. So range for the RT is 317 horsepower, and range for the Scat Pack is 260 miles. For some reason, I don't feel like that's enough at all. Everything you do in an EV affects the range. Running your heat, running your accessories, charging phones, running dash cameras and stuff. I might have cameras, I'm not mistaken. Might be like Tesla-like where it has cameras all around. But Tesla's been doing this for a long time. They got the EV game on lock, if you ask me. And I feel like this 260 miles is going to turn to 150 real quick, and that is not a lot of range, guys. I'm sorry to tell you, but we'll see. We'll see when they get out here. People are going to take them, they're going to test them, and we're going to see what they actually get. We all know, even Tesla is guilty of it. Every manufacturer, best case scenario is what these numbers are. Best case scenario is what these numbers are. Now, what people are actually going to see in the real world is going to be drastically lower. Hope you ain't going far from home, man, because you ain't gonna make it far. And road tripping is gonna be real tough with only 260 miles of range. But turn that into, like I said, 150. So 150 miles of range. You, 3 other people in the car, throw in some luggage back there to help drain some range. Yeah, you're gonna be looking at 150 real quick, and that range is gonna fly by a lot quicker than you think. Now, as far as the looks of both variants, the electric and the 6-pack itself, I do prefer the look of the 6-pack, man. I think it has a little more aggressive look to it. I like the hood bulge because it's reminiscent of the 2011 to 2014 SRT8 Chargers, that style hood. I really always like that hood. But as far as EV goes, not a bad looking car. I don't think it's bad looking at all. I do think it's a little more plain Jane looking. You know, a lot of people didn't really notice the differences, but I did see as soon as they showed the 6-pack, I was like, oh, that looks a lot better because it has more aero, more vents, more things like that to actually feed and cool actual engine under the hood. So I think it looked a little more aggressive. I like the way it looked a little better over the standard EV Chargers because I don't know, they just look plain Jane to me. They don't have the extra vents and stuff. Obviously, there's nothing to cool down. It has motors and stuff. You know, it has like the one big ass vent and that one, what they call it, the air wing or whatever that flows over the hood. They have that, but I don't know. It just looks like a metal slab just rolling down the street. I mean, not a bad looking car. It could have been one of those melted jelly bean looks that we've all grown accustomed to and all the manufacturers seem to think that everyone wants. So at least Dodge did change the direction to go in, you know. It wasn't quite Cybertruck crazy looking, but it is a different look for EVs and, you know, the standard run-of-the-mill jelly bean looking vehicles. I think this is a step in the right direction, man. At least they're not all looking exactly like, you know, the Model 3, Model Y, Model X and stuff like that. That melted jelly bean look. The Model S looks good. It looks like a standard, sleek sedan. I don't mind the Model S at all. And obviously it has the performance to back it up. The Plaid does. So Model S is a good looking car and it runs damn good. But Scat Pack and RT ain't got enough for no Model S Plaid. But maybe the Banshee down the road. We don't have numbers for that, so maybe when that comes out, maybe that's going to be a different story. But for right now, we got the RT and the Scat Pack, and that's what we're rolling with. Now, speaking of performance, let's get into it. Now, if you remember in that video, he mentioned it's going to be quicker than all of our Hellcat variants. Quicker, maybe, but that's on stoplight to stoplight. I guarantee you, on a track, any Hellcat variant is going to outrun the Scat Pack. I have no doubts about it. I've been able to do a 3.1 Draggy verified. I have the clip and I'll post it up for you guys. I've been able to do a 3.1 0 to 60 on the track. On the street, I've only managed about 3.4, and that was on a nice sticky tire. It says the Scat Pack would do 3.3 0 to 60, and the RT would do 4.7. So I'm well ahead of the RT, but the 3.3, probably gonna be maybe a nose ahead of me. But after that, red eyes coming around, point blank period. Even the standard Hellcat, you go along down the quarter-mile strip, RT is going to be 13.1 seconds, and the Scat Pack is going to be 11.5 seconds. So, the best I managed in my old Hellcat, the red one, bone stock, just a tire, was 11.2. There's guys out here who have high 10-second passes, 10.6, 10.7, 10.8, in a bone stock Hellcat, standard Hellcat, 707 horsepower. There's guys out here who have full on 10-second passes in those cars, and I don't think there's anything you can really do, even with your little power shot. I don't think there's anything you can do with the Scat Pack that's going to change that. So 11.5 seconds is about all you're looking at, unless you go in there and start tearing out the entire interior. Then maybe you're looking at an 11.0 flat. So maybe a gutted Scat Pack Daytona, maybe that'll do something. But as far as that, not impressed by the times at all. But like I said, this is going to be your Model 3, Model Y competitors, because based off of these times, no one's setting the world on fire with these times. And if you keep back in that video, he said quicker. Remember, he said quicker. So let's talk about top speed for a second. The RT is limited to 137 mile per hour, and the Scat Pack is capped at 134. Once again, seems kind of backwards, but that's what we got. So the RT is somehow faster, and the Scat Pack is obviously quicker through the quarter mile and the 0 to 60 range. So it's going to be quicker through the quarter mile, but somehow the top speeds are reversed. Now, if you remember with the ICE vehicles, the 5.7s and the 6.4s, most RTs come capped from the factory at about like 126. Mine was 126. I don't know, it's a weird number to stop at, but it was definitely capped at 126. And I got a Diablo, took the damn governor off, and I was able to take it all the way to 160. My Scat Pack, on the other hand, no governor whatsoever, ran all the way to 174, I want to say 170 something. It went all the way up to 170, couldn't quite reach that 180, but it got up there. My old Hellcat went up to 203. You guys saw that, video's up. And this one, I've got it up to 183, 186, I don't know, 180 something. So obviously way faster than these EVs coming in. Even when the Daytona comes out, I don't think the Daytona is going to have like a crazy top speed or anything like that, but it's probably going to be pretty decent in the quarter mile. I'm going to say bottom 10s. I'm calling it right now. Bottom 10s for the Banshee EV is what I'm going to say it as, because I just did a lot of trying to push for this EV stuff in that video, man. You go back and watch the video, they were like, this is the brotherhood, this is the way forward, yada, yada, yada. And now's the time to evolve. You guys got to make a decision now. Respect it. And I was like, okay. So it's kind of cringe. I didn't really like the way they were trying to like push that whole EV narrative. And I was honestly more interested in the 6-pack than anything. Once the 6-pack came on the screen, like I said, I preferred the look of it. But unfortunately, I haven't found any stats on it other than the horsepower. So like I said, for the horsepower for the 6-pack, we got 420 for the regular one, and then 550 for the high output. So I'm gonna say, based off of the weight of these guys, I'm gonna say quarter mile for the standard one, 420. I'm gonna say 13 seconds, some up in there. And for the 550, I'm gonna say something in the 12-second range. So what I'm gonna do, so not setting the world ablaze, like I said, but it's going to be quicker than all of their 6.2 variants. So 3.3 0 to 60 is going to be good for some stoplight action, but after that, quarter mile, you're getting overtaken by damn near everything. I'm pretty sure the Scat Packs out here are doing 11.5. Hell, we've seen cam only Scat Packs run 10s. So oh well. that's what we got, guys. That's what we got. Now, moving on to the interior. I don't think it's a bad interior at all. It's got heads-up display, all these other cool buttons, big-ass screen here, big-ass screen there. Nice futuristic-looking shifter. Your standard, you know, push buttons. It's not too crazy with the infotainment screen, but it still does have some physical buttons. But other than that, I don't think it's a bad-looking interior, man. I think it's going to fit right in with everything else that's coming out, and it still looks familiar to what we know from Dodge. So not too crazy futuristic, but it is definitely a huge upgrade of what we have in these current 6.4, 6.2s, 5.7s. So huge upgrade for the Charger, but not a bad looking interior at all. Not a bad looking interior at all. And like I said, as far as the exterior goes, still not a bad looking car. I don't agree with anyone out there bashing the looks of the car. Like I said, we could have went with, you know, that jelly bean look, and I'm glad that we don't have that. At least we have something that looks remotely like a Charger, you know what I'm saying? As far as pricing goes, I'm guesstimating, because I haven't seen anything official for pricing and stuff like that, not even on Dodge's website themselves. But as far as pricing goes, I'm going to guesstimate somewhere probably 60,000 for the RT, 50 to 60 for the RT, and about 60 to 70 for the Scat Pack, which is, man, where the times are wow. Remember my first Hellcat was 55. Now we're playing 60 and 70, or possibly. I'm gonna take that back, because I don't want nobody quoting me like, man, you said it's gonna be this. This is what I assume, because we haven't seen pricing and stuff like that. So I'm going to say 50 to 60 for the RT and about 60 to 70 for the Scat Pack. So my first Hellcat was $55,000, man. I never in my life would I think we'd see 60 and 70,000 Scat Packs. And we have that today, but that's because they're greedy and they're trying to pull that whole last call stuff. You gotta get them while you can, guys. So that's why Scat Packs are that price right now at some dealers, because they're just greedy. But with them coming from the factory MSRP for this price, man, that's a big ask. I can only imagine what the Banshee's gonna be. Banshee's gonna be 100 easy. I'm calling it right now, 100 easy. Especially seeing how we had the Demon 170. What did that come out to? The Demon 170 was like starting at like 90 something, like 95, 96 starting, before you added any options to the Demon 170. I'm pretty sure that started at like right at 90 something. So this EV coming out, I'm gonna say 100 easy. If not 100, right at 90, just like the Demon 170 was. And I don't think it's gonna run 8s like the Demon 170, so that's unfortunate because of just how heavy this damn thing's gonna be. But I'm interested. I'd like to see what it can do, and it would be nice to see something that can compete with the other top electric cars out there. We have the Lucid Sapphire out here running 8s, and Plaid out here running bottom 9s. 8s with weight reduction. If the Daytona Banshee can come out and actually compete with those guys, then that would be pretty good. That would put Dodge back in the, you know, the conversation of performance and top muscle cars and stuff like that, top EV muscle car maker. That would be able to give them that crown. But you know, they're gonna make some other category for themselves to not compete with those guys. And I feel like that's what they're gonna do. It's gonna not compete. It's not going to be as fast, so they're going to make some other. It's going to be the fastest muscle car, or something like that. You know how Dodge likes the word stuff. That's what they did with their own car. It's going to be quicker than all of our 6.2 variants. I'm like, but is it faster though? Nope. So now, with all the numbers and all the specs and all that jazz out of the way, let's talk about the future of Dodge. So what does this mean? To me, honestly, I believe it's slowly becoming the beginning of the end. These cars will sell. I'm not saying they won't sell. All no one's going to buy them. Blah, 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 blah. It's an EV. They're going to flop. Blah, 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 blah. I just don't think they're going to sell well enough. Simply because Dodge has built up this following, this cult-like following of the brotherhood of people who want more, bigger, faster, louder. And once you start trying to preach this EV and 6-cylinder on all of those guys that you've bought into this brotherhood, I just don't think the shift and the change is going to go likely, man. Like, most of those guys already have their 6.2s and 6.4s, and they're just going to hold on to them now. Like, no one's going to, everyone sees this as a backwards downgrade. Everyone sees the power numbers. They see that as going backwards. No one wants slower, less economical. It literally is. Less range, less. No one wants less. Like no one's going backwards. They already have their 6.4s and their 6.2s, and I don't see them giving them up to go here. Now, for the buyers, I do see these cars attracting. You're gonna have the guy that has to have everything because it's the newest and latest, greatest. Gonna have those buyers, but those are gonna be few and far between. Guys that just have indisposable income because they have to have it. You're gonna have the guy here who's a Mopar fanatic and has to have every Mopar. Once again, few and far between with indisposable income. And then you're gonna have the guys out here who just want something different. They're tired of your Teslas. They're tired of everyone in their Kia EVs. They just want something different than what all of their freaking neighbors are driving. That's it. All the guys who are sitting in Redeyes and Hellcats and Scat Packs, yeah, I don't see them going to trade, knocking on dealers' doors to go trade them in and place orders. Man, I just don't see it happening. Unless he's the collector or the guy that has to have the latest and greatest, I just don't see it happening. Now, those are 3 buyers that I say they're going to be lining up to get these cars. They're probably going to get them. And I just don't see that as enough to keep Dodge going. And I don't see these types of cars returning. I'm sorry. With the future of the Stellantis, we've seen how it's been going. They've literally been killing off everything. The Trackhawk's gone. The Durango's leaving. The TRX is getting a freaking 6-cylinder, the HO. Yeah, this is it, man. This is it. So if you have a Hellcat, I suggest you hold on to it. If you have a Scat Pack, I suggest you hold on to it, man, because this is it. This is it. Like it's not looking good for us, man. It's not looking good for us at all. But that's what I think about it, man. Those are my thoughts on it. Sorry for rambling on. Sorry for this video being a little longer than I intended to. But let me know what you think down in the comments. Your first time stopping by, like, subscribe, hit that bell icon so you guys get notification these videos go up. So go to the Instagram channel at low376slow, all one word. I'll put it down in the description. Until next time, to you, I'm out. Peace.